U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said today the self-proclaimed Islamic State will not intimidate the United States. The Islamist insurgents are threatening to kill more American citizens. This comes one day after the terrorists released a video showing the execution of American aid worker Peter Kassig. Our Rise News correspondent Actor Khan has the latest. Actor.
Thanks very much, the young 26-year-old from Indiana is the latest hostage to be executed by ISIS. But unlike other videos released by this homicidal and fanatical group, the killers show their face, as well as provide the exact location of the executions. A place, according to Islam, said to be the site of an apocalyptic battle between Muslims and non-Muslims. The video also shows the apparent beheading of 18 Iraqi military servicemen. Western intelligence are trying to identify the terrorists in the video. French and British officials say they have potentially identified some of their nationals. The latest killing has, if anything, strengthened the West's resolve.
Peter's parents recently held a press conference in which they asked people to pray for all those being held against their will. They also asked for privacy and further added, quote, "Please give us privacy to mourn, cry and yes, forgive and begin to heal. Our hearts are battered, but they will mend. We will work every day to keep his legacy alive as best we can." Debbie.
All right, Actor, thank you very much. With me now from Washington, D.C. is Dane Egli. Dane was the senior hostage advisor for former U.S. President George W. Bush. Welcome to the show, Dane. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Debbie. Good to be here.
So, many have observed this video. It's especially vicious and brutal, including mass beheadings of Syrian soldiers. What does this represent to you?
You know, Debbie, this is part of their strategic communications. It's a campaign of shock and propaganda, which they carry out quite effectively. It's a chance for them to send a message, inspire confidence within their followers that they already have, their base, if you will. It's also a message of invitation for those in the region who haven't come to serve with them to carry out their campaign. Perhaps it's also a warning to those in the region who would get in their way. This is the way they're going to deal with you. And then lastly, it's a message to the United States and the coalition to say we're going to drive a wedge in between. You don't really care about your hostages. Look, after all, look what we're able to do to them.
I know you feel like ISIS is beating us at this game, and that's a loose use of the word game, because there's nothing gamish about this. But how are they, and how is that even possible given all the technology that is at the disposal, not just of the U.S., but other Western countries?
Well, this is the way they can lash back. They are right now facing intense airstrikes, as you know, and this is one way that they can get back. They held Mr. Kassig for over a year. Why did they take him out now? So this has the indications of maybe extra pressure on them, but it's the way they can lash back, and they want to instill shock and trauma any way they can for the Hearts and Minds campaign that they're waging.
You know, many have criticized the United States government, who has a very strict policy of not negotiating and certainly not paying ransom to terrorists. But what is the rationale of this criticism of the U.S. underreacting to these hostages?
They need legitimacy, respect, and they want to gain attention any way they can to their cause. One way they can do it is in this high visibility, traumatizing attack, beheadings, and it has a short-term benefit, but the policy is designed to underreact, not give them legitimacy, and by all means do not pay ransoms. The other countries that pay ransoms gain a short-term satisfaction, but it's an illusion of security, because the long-term impact of this, Debbie, is that you increase the value of your citizens to the hostage takers, to the terrorists. If you are going to try to appease and comfort the wolf at the door with candy, you better have a large jar of candy, because the minute you run out of giving them favors, they will attack and do to you what they've been doing to the hostages.
Yeah, one thing is for sure, the president was right when he called this pure evil. Dane Egli, we're going to have to stop right here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Pleasure.